Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Caleb Likes Books. Today I'm going to be doing a quick book haul video for you. This month it was Father's Day, and my wife got me a gift card to one of my favorite stores where I get a lot of my books and my video games and things like that. And so I got some books this month, and I still have plenty left over that I can use, but I figured for now I just stick with a few books. So then I have more to use another time if I want to. One thing that I got that I'm not going to show because I don't currently have it on me, I got a new copy of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I had a movie tie-in edition of it, but I decided to sell it and get a new copy, which I thought was going to be a matching one with the new editions that I already have of Lord of the Rings and all that stuff. But it turns out it was an old edition from the 80s, but I figured I'm not going to bother to get a new copy because, you know, whatever. So I got that, but you'll be seeing that sometime soon because I'm going to be reviewing it after I finish my reread, which I'm actually currently doing at the time I'm recording this. But as far as other stuff, I got 2 media tie-in books, one of which is a Star Wars book, and I got 2 horror books. So a little bit of variety here. First thing I'm going to talk about is the Star Wars book that I got, and I'm very excited about this one. I got Bloodline by Claudia Gray. This is the final Claudia Gray Star Wars book that I needed before I had all of them, and I've heard this one is absolutely amazing. So I'm very excited to read it, and once I read this, which I'm probably going to do I'm not going to do it during July because I already have my TBR lined up for July, but I'll probably do this in August. Because I really want to read it, and once that's done, I'll have read all of Claudia Gray's Star Wars books, which is very exciting. The next one is another media tie-in book, and that is SpiderMan Hostile Takeover. Yeah, SpiderMan Hostile Takeover. This is a tie-in book for the Spider-Man video games, the recent ones by Insomniac for PlayStation. I love the Spider-Man games, the new ones. I love a lot of Spider-Man games, but the Insomniac Spider-Man games are my favorite ones, and some of my favorite games of all time. And so I didn't realize they had any tie-in books for those games, so when I found that out, I was very excited. I will probably be reading this in October, same with the other 2 books because those are horror books. Because the new Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2, comes out this October, assuming it doesn't get delayed or anything. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully things are going well with it. But, you know, assuming the game still releases in October, I'll be reading and reviewing this book in October to coincide with the release of the video game, so I'm very excited to read this. I've heard some mixed things about it, but, you know, I'm excited to read it because I really like the video games, and hopefully it'll at least be a fun time. And then I have 2 horror books. So the first one I'm going to talk about is my very first Stephen King book, which is exciting. I got this, not The Stand, Salem's Lot. I keep getting this confused with The Stand for some reason. I think it's both because they start with S and they're some of his most popular books. I don't know. But I got Salem's Lot. I have been wanting to read some Stephen King for a while because, for those of you who don't know, which is probably quite a few of you, but some of you that I've talked to may know this, but I'm actually from Maine, which is where Stephen King is from. He is by far the most popular author from this state, and I've never read him, which seems like a sin. So I'm going to read one of his books in October. Hopefully I enjoy it. I want to get into his work because he's really popular, and he seems like I might enjoy him. And I got Salem's Lot because it's still a fairly lengthy book. It's like 600-700 pages, but compared to some of his other very popular books like It or you know, The Stand, like I mentioned earlier, those are really long. Those are over 1,000 pages each. And even though this is still pretty long, I feel better about this being my first book because it's not as long of a commitment. And granted, there's some other ones that I could have gone with that are much shorter than this, but I've heard this is one of his best books. So I'm very excited to read this one. Hopefully I really enjoy that. Once again, probably will read this in October because Halloween and everything. I'm thinking kind of like I did last year, October is going to be primarily reserved for horror. And that's going to be kind of when I read the bulk of my horror throughout the year, even though I'm not opposed to reading it throughout the rest of the year. But it'll probably be mostly horror in October if I can find some more. So excited to read Salem's Lot. And the last one that I have is one that is maybe not quite as popular, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. that's The Ballad of Black Tom. This is a novella, which I didn't actually realize. I thought it was a full novel, but apparently it's just a short little, maybe 150-page novella. I can't remember. This is actually a retelling of one of H.P. Lovecraft's stories. You may know I'm a big fan of Lovecraft, and by the time, maybe not by the time this video goes out, actually, but soon I will have read basically all of Lovecraft's work once I read the final short story collection that I have. And this is a retelling of his story, The Horror at Red Hook. I apologize, you can probably hear my son out in the living room. He's doing his thing. But this is a retelling of The Horror at Red Hook, I believe, which most people consider one of his weakest stories, so I feel like this author kind of wanted to, you know, do a better job of it, maybe, but I've heard this is an excellent retelling and an excellent story in its own right. So I'm very excited to read that as well. Hopefully that will be a lot of fun. And that is pretty much it for this video, so hope you enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments if you have read or are interested in reading any of these books. Anyways, that is pretty much it for this video, so thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.